Why aliens fear us, we exposed a parasitic invasion they couldn't see. They called her a savage, but she sensed a darker predator lurking. The galaxy's shining academy was a facade, and Mira Chen would tear it down. Her boots struck the titanium deck of Illyrian's starport at 8:15 on June 15, 2657, each step deliberate. Mira Chen, 165 meters tall, moved with the lean precision of someone shaped by Earth's brutal deserts. Her black hair, cut sharp at her shoulders, framed eyes that missed nothing. Brown, piercing, alive with suspicion. Clad in NovaCore's silver-gray uniform, she kept her Earth combat boots, a defiance of the Academy's polish. A coin-sized communicator hummed on her wrist, her only tether to home. As a deathworlder, a term hissed with fear by alien trainees, she drew stares. Tentacled Vixians recoiled, gaseous calyx orbs dimmed, scaled Zorathians hissed softly. Their prejudice stung, but Mira's skin was thicker than their whispers. Illyrian, 50 light-years from Earth, gleamed under twin suns, its 200-meter energy towers casting shadows over artificial forests that sprawled wide, their synthetic leaves shimmering with holographic mist. The starport buzzed, a sterile hum of technology masking something sinister. Mira boarded a maglev shuttle, its low whine cutting through the morning air. The ride to NovaCore Academy revealed a campus of crystal spires, each pulsing with holographic displays of galactic treaties. The air smelled of ozone, clean but cold, a stark contrast to Earth's grit. As a diplomatic trainee, Mira carried humanity's hope to prove they were more than barbarians. But the alien glares, Vixian tentacles twitching, Zorathian scales glinting, told her she'd fight for every inch of respect. At the dormitory, a sleek glass complex, she swiped her ID chip. The door hissed open to a 10-by-8-meter room, 2 minimalist beds, a hollow desk, a window framing Illyrian's emerald horizon. Then she met her roommate. Zin, a Lumora entity, hovered as a glowing blue sphere, shifting to a slender humanoid form. Their light flickered, erratic, like a storm-trapped star. Mira? Zin's voice chimed, soft as bells but unsteady. You're the one from Earth, the death world, aren't you? They say your people fight beasts with bare hands and eat raw flesh to survive. How do you endure such barbarity? Is it true you thrive in environments that kill others? Mira's instincts flared. Zin's unease wasn't just nerves, but laced with the galaxy's misconceptions about humans. Just landed, she said, her tone clipped but kind. Earth's heavy like that. It's not barbarity, it's survival. We adapt, that's all. Dropping her bag, Mira scanned the room, her desert-honed senses prickling. As she bent to unpack, her boot nudged a loose panel on the floor, a faint click echoing oddly in the quiet space. Curious, she knelt and traced the seam, prying it open to reveal a device. 5 centimeters, black, pulsing red at a steady hum. A surveillance bug. Her pulse jumped, heart steadying at 90 beats per minute. Who was listening? Zin's glow dimmed, shrinking to a tight orb. That's not right, they whispered, light pulsing like a panicked heartbeat. Mira's mind raced. NovaCore trained diplomats, not spies. Why the bug? We keep this quiet, she said, pocketing the device, her voice low, steady. Zin's light steadied, a flicker of trust. I'll help, Mira. Something's off. Their words, fragile but firm, sealed a pact. Mira's Earth training, observe, analyze, survive, kicked in. This wasn't just surveillance. It was a thread in a larger web. At 14, a chime called them to the welcome assembly. The grand hall, vast and shimmering, buzzed with trainees. Holograms danced, projecting peace accords in alien scripts. Mentor Clara appeared, their silvery mist forming a vague figure, eyes like storm clouds. Their voice, a low howl, filled the space. Unity is your purpose, but truth hides in shadows. Their gaze lingered on Mira, heavy with unspoken knowledge. Her gut twisted, Clara saw too much. As they spoke of diplomacy, Mira caught Zin's glow faltering, mirroring her unease. The bug, Clara's cryptic stare, the Academy's sterile perfection, pieces of a puzzle she'd solve. Back in their room by 16:30, Mira sat cross-legged, the bug in her hands. Its circuits hummed. Alien tech far beyond Earth's. She prodded it with a micro-tool, sensing its energy at a faint, eerie pulse. Zin hovered close, their blue light casting jagged shadows. "It's watching," they murmured, voice trembling. "Maybe more." Mira's jaw tightened. "It's not just watching, it's hunting." Her instincts screamed of a deeper threat, one that NovaCore's shining towers hid. She glanced at Zin, their glow steadying under her resolve. "We'll find out what," she said, voice sharp but warm. Zin's form stretched taller. "I'm with you." By dusk, Illyrian suns painted the sky violet, the Academy's spires glowing coldly. Mira stood at the window, her communicators hum her anchor. She wasn't just a trainee, she was a survivor, forged in Earth's crucible. The bug, Zin's fear, Klira's veiled warning, they pointed to a shadow beneath NovaCore's light. "Zin, stay sharp," she said, her voice ablade. "This place is a lie." Zin's light pulsed brighter. "I trust you, Mira." Her resolve hardened. Whatever secrets this academy held, Mira Chen would hunt them down, one shadow at a time. Mira Chen stepped into NovaCore's grand auditorium on the morning of June 16, 2657, her silver-gray uniform snug against her lean frame. Her combat boots clicked on the crystal floor, echoing in the vast chamber where holograms cast star maps, entreaties in shimmering blues. Illyrian's twin suns streamed through translucent walls, bathing the room in an eerie glow. A deathworlder from Earth's harsh deserts, Mira felt the weight of alien stares, tentacled Vixians, gaseous calyx orbs, scaled Zarathians, all edging away as if she carried a plague. Her sharp brown eyes scanned the crowd, her communicator humming faintly on her wrist. The surveillance bug from her dorm, hidden in her pocket, burned like a secret she couldn't shake. She sat, posture alert, instincts screaming that this polished academy was a trap dressed in peace. A human figure slid into the seat beside her. Arlo Kane, tall with tousled brown hair and green eyes that glinted with mischief. His black technician's jacket bristled with tools clipped to his belt. "Mira, huh? Another Earth strays in this alien circus," he said, voice quick with a grin. "Bet they think we'll chew the furniture." His bold humor cut through her tension, their shared origin sparking a flicker of trust. "Something like that," Mira replied, her tone sharp but warm, sizing him up. Arlo's restless fingers tapped a micro-tool, hinting at a mind always working. In a sea of alien suspicion, he was a lifeline, and she sensed he felt the same. Mentor Klira took the podium, their silvery mist forms swirling into a humanoid shape. Their voice, like wind through a canyon, filled the hall. "Technology binds us, but intent shapes its edge." The words landed heavily, their misty gaze lingering on Mira for a heartbeat too long. Holograms flared, neural interfaces, energy matrices, each pulsing with alien tech. Mira's gut twisted. Klira's cryptic tone echoed the unease of the bug she'd found. She glanced at the trainees. A Zarathian's tail twitched erratically, a Vixian's eyes stared blank, pupils wide. Her pulse quickened. This wasn't nerve. Something was pulling their strings. The session broke at noon, and Mira pulled Arlo into a quiet corridor, its walls glowing with data streams. "You feel it, don't you?" she asked, voice low. "Like we're being watched." Arlo's grin faded, his hand brushing his tools. "This place is too clean. I hacked a door panel yesterday, found encrypted signals, military grade. I can crack more if you need." His offer was brash but solid, and Mira nodded, her mind racing. Zin joined them, their blue glow flickering like a storm. "I sensed it," Zin chimed, voice trembling like glass. "Energy spikes, wrong, under the hall." Their forms shrank, but Mira's steady gaze held them. "Stick with us, Zin. We'll find it." A calyx orb trainee drifted too close, its gaseous form pulsing unnaturally. Mira's earth-honed reflexes kicked in. She sidestepped in a blink, avoiding contact. The orb's jerky movements screamed control, like a marionette. "That's not right," she muttered, fingers brushing the bug in her pocket. Arlo's eyes narrowed. "Mind control tech? Seen it on Earth's black market? Nasty." Mira's instincts clicked. Patterns she'd learned dodging predators told her this was no accident. The bug, the trainees' behavior, Clara's veiled words, pieces of a hidden machine. In a shadowed alcove, Mira took charge, her voice crisp. We need answers. There's a tech lab session tomorrow, underground, high security. That's our shot. Arlo smirked, twirling a tool. I'm in, boss. Let's break their toys. Zin's glow steadied, their voice firming. I'll sense the energy. I trust you, Mira. Her directness, forged in Earth's crucible, bound their small alliance. The auditorium's holograms glowed behind them, their promise of peace ringing hollow. Mira's fingers grazed her communicator, its hum grounding her. A Thalarian trainee watched from afar, its liquid form rippling oddly. The Academy's pristine halls hid a predator, but Mira was no prey. Tomorrow they'd step deeper into the shadows, and she'd prove humans were more than the galaxy's outcasts. At 14 Noirs on June 17, 2657, Mira Chen descended into NovaCore's underground tech lab, 50 meters beneath the Academy's gleaming spires. The air was cool, heavy with the hum of advanced holographic equipment casting schematics in flickering greens. Her silver-gray uniform felt tight, her combat boots grounding her as she navigated the sterile, steel-walled chamber. The lab, a maze of consoles and glowing conduits, buzzed with alien trainees, Vixians, Zorathians, Calyx orbs, all moving with mechanical precision. Mira's sharp brown eyes darted, her earthborn instincts on edge. The surveillance bug from her dorm, still tucked in her pocket, seemed to pulse in warning. She joined a group at a neural interface station, its hologram pulsing with alien symbols. Something about this lab, buried deep, felt like a cage. As she interfaced with a diagnostic tool, a sudden wave of dizziness hit, her vision blurring. Her pulse spiked, heart hammering at a frantic pace. She gripped the console, steadying herself and focused. Earth's deserts had taught her to spot danger and chaos. The sensation wasn't random, it was deliberate. She traced her fingers along her neck, finding a faint scar from the mandatory health check on arrival. Her survival training clicked, a chip no larger than a grain of sand embedded in her nervous system. It was manipulating her, dulling her thoughts. Not today, she muttered, her voice low and sharp. She activated her wrist communicator, its electromagnetic pulse humming softly, and jury-rigged it to disrupt the chip's signal. For 10 tense minutes, she worked in silence, sweat beading on her brow, until the dizziness faded. Her mind was hers again. Mira scanned the room. Arlo Kane, his black technician's jacket scuffed, stood at a nearby station, his green eyes unfocused, fingers twitching unnaturally. Zin, hovering as a blue orb, flickered erratically, its glow dimming like a faltering star. Zin, Arlo, she whispered, sidling close. You feel it too. Something's in your head. Arlo blinked, shaking his head as if waking from a dream. What the hell? His voice was rough, but his hand was already on his tool belt. Zin's chime trembled. Energy? Wrong. It's pulling me. Mira's jaw tightened. Stay with me. We're shutting this down. Her earth-honed reflexes guided her, every sense screaming of a larger threat. Arlo, ever the engineer, pulled a micro-tool from his belt, a sleek, pen-sized device, and pried open his wrist communicator. Mind control chip? Child's play, he said, his grin forced but defiant. In 5 minutes, he'd cracked the chip's encryption, his fingers moving with practiced speed, disabling the device with a faint spark. Zin's glow steadied as Mira adjusted her communicator to emit a low-frequency pulse, guiding Zin to focus their energy-sensing ability. There, Zin chimed, voice firmer. It's gone. Thanks to you, Mira. Their light pulsed brighter, a sign of trust forged in crisis. Mira's eyes narrowed. This isn't just us, it's everyone. She studied the other trainees. Vixian's tentacles moved in sync, too perfect, like drones. A Calyx orb hovered, its pulses matching the lab's equipment. Mira's pulse steadied, but her mind raced. The chips weren't random. They were coordinated, linked to something bigger. Zin, sense the energy. Where's it coming from? Zin's form stretched. their glow probing the lab's undercurrents. "Below us," they said, voice ringing like a bell. "Deep. A signal. From the galactic rim." Mira's blood ran cold. The rim, lawless, dark, a breeding ground for rogue factions. This wasn't training. It was enslavement. Mira huddled with Arlo and Zin behind a console, the lab's hum masking their whispers. "They're turning trainees into puppets," she said, her voice ablade. "An army, controlled from the rim." Arlo's eyes glinted. "I can trace the signal, but we need deeper access. Somewhere in this lab." Zin's glow flickered with resolve. "I'll help. The energy's stronger below." Mira nodded, her earth instinct screaming, "Act fast or lose everything." The lab's holograms glowed, promising innovation, but Mira saw chains. "We dig deeper," she said. "Tomorrow we find the source." As they left the lab at 1601, Mira caught a Zorathian trainee staring, its scaled eyes blank, tail twitching like a metronome. Her hand brushed her communicator, its pulse her anchor. The Academy's pristine facade, its towers, its forests, hid a machine turning minds into weapons. But Mira Chen, forged in Earth's crucible, was no one's pawn. Arlo cracked his knuckles, ready for a fight. Zin's glow held steady, their trust in Mira absolute. At 07 Mars on June 18, 2657, Mira Chen gathered her fledgling team in the sterile quiet of their dormitory, the glass walls reflecting Illyrian's dawn. Her silver-gray uniform was crisp, her combat boots planted firmly, her sharp brown eyes scanning her allies. Zin, the luminous entity from Lemora, hovered as a blue orb, their glow steady but edged with unease. Arlo Kane, the Earth engineer, leaned against a holodesk, his black jacket scuffed, green eyes glinting with defiance. The air crackled with tension, the surveillance bug from Mira's dorm now a shared secret binding them. She'd called one more to join. Sylis, a Thalarian liquid being, their silver form rippling like molten metal. Sylis's voice sparkled, high and curious. "This conspiracy you speak of, it intrigues me, Mira. I'm in." Their fluid shape shifted into a humanoid outline, eager yet erratic, drawn by the mystery. Mira nodded, her earth-honed instincts sizing them up. Sylis's curiosity could be their edge. The dorm's sleek confines felt like a pressure cooker, the Academy's pristine facade a lie. Mira laid out the plan: infiltrate the underground lab, deeper than yesterday's session, to trace the mind control signal. "We move tonight," she said, voice sharp as a blade. "The lab's security is tight. Cameras, drones, maybe worse." Arlo grinned, pulling a micro tool from his belt. "I've got code breakers. Those locks won't stand a chance." Zin's glow pulsed. "I sense energy flows. Dark ones below. I'll guide us." Sylis rippled, their voice chiming. "I can slip through cracks, no wider than a hair. Point me at a vent." Mira's lips twitched. A team of misfits, but hers. She analyzed their strengths, her dessert-bred mind mapping their moves like a predator stalking prey. A soft knock interrupted. Mentor Clyra's misty form seeped under the door, their silvery fog coalescing into a vague figure. "You tread a dangerous path," Clyra's voice echoed, like wind over dunes. "The tech below isn't just alien, it's ancient, hungry." Their words carried a warning, but their gaze held a spark of trust. Mira's pulse quickened. Clyra knew more than they said. "Then help us," she urged, her tone steady but warm. Clyra's mist swirled. "Look for the signal source. It's not of this world." They dissipated, leaving a chill. Mira exchanged looks with her team. Clyra's cryptic aid was a lifeline, but it raised the stakes. By 20 hours, the team slipped into a service tunnel, its steel walls humming with hidden conduits. Mira led, her reflexes sharp, spotting a laser grid ahead, beams crisscrossing at head height. "Down!" she hissed, dropping to a crouch. The team followed, Arlo's tools already out, disabling the grid in seconds with a faint spark. "Child's play," he muttered, but sweat beaded on his brow. Zin's glow dimmed, sensing a surge. "Energy spike. Something's alive down here." Sylis flowed forward, their liquid form squeezing through a vent's narrow slit, re-emerging to signal the clear. Mira's heart raced, but she kept her voice calm. Good work. Stay tight. Halfway through the tunnel, a low growl echoed, a bioengineered guardian, its hulking form emerging from the shadows, all claws and glowing eyes. Mira's instincts screamed. She dove, rolling aside as a claw swiped, missing her by inches. Sylis, distract it, she barked. Sylis splashed into a puddle, reforming to taunt the beast, their voice lilting. Over here, big guy! Arlo lobbed a stun charge, its crackle buying time. Zin flared bright, disorienting the creature. Mira saw fear in Sylis's ripples, but she knelt beside them, voice soft. You've got this. We're together. Her empathy, born of Earth's harsh lessons, steadied Sylis, their form firming. Together they drove the beast back, its roars fading. At the tunnel's end, Zin's glow flickered wildly. The signal, it's stronger. From the rim, far away. Mira's mind raced. The galactic rim, a lawless void. The chips, the lab, the creature, all pieces of a plot to enslave NovaCore's trainees. Arlo's tools pinged, tracing a faint signal through the walls. It's deeper, he said, voice tight. Core of the lab. Mira's jaw set. Then we go deeper. The team stood at a sealed hatch, its lock pulsing red. Sylis rippled, ready to slip through. Arlo prepped his codebreaker. Zin's light held firm. Trust in Mira absolute. The Academy's towers loomed above, but below, a predator waited. Mira, forged in Earth's crucible, was ready to hunt it down, one step closer to the truth. Mira Chen led her team through the shadowed service tunnel, the air thick with the hum of hidden machinery. Buried 100 meters beneath NovaCore's gleaming spires, the underground lab's steel corridors stretched far, their walls pulsing with faint alien energy. Her silver-gray uniform clung to her lean frame, combat boots silent on the cold floor. Her sharp brown eyes, honed by Earth's deserts, scanned for threats. Zin's blue glow flickered nervously, their humanoid form trembling. Arlo Kane, his black jacket scuffed, gripped a micro-tool, green eyes glinting with defiance. Sylis, the Thalarian liquid being, rippled silver, their voice chiming with curiosity. The surveillance bug from Mira's dorm, still in her pocket, felt like a ticking bomb. This deep, the Academy's polished facade was gone, replaced by a predator's lair. The tunnel narrowed, its walls slick with condensation. A faint hum vibrated, setting Mira's nerves on edge. She signaled a halt, spotting a biotrap ahead, a glistening web of organic filaments, pulsing with venom. Sylis, she whispered, can you handle it? Sylis's form flowed, shrinking to a shimmering thread. A bit slimy, but I've seen worse, they chimed, sliding through a vent's tight gap. Their liquid body neutralized the trap's toxins, dissolving the filaments with a hiss. Mira's pulse steadied. Sylis's adaptability was their edge. The team pressed forward, the corridor stretching into darkness, every step a gamble. A sealed door loomed, its lock glowing red with encrypted runes. Arlo knelt, his codebreaker humming. Child's play, he muttered, fingers flying over the panel. The lock clicked open in moments, his grin cocky despite the sweat on his brow. Mira nodded, impressed but focused. Zin's glow flared suddenly, their voice ringing like shattered glass. Energy surge, something's alive! Mira's instinct screamed. She crouched, scanning the shadows. A low growl echoed, and a bioengineered guardian emerged, 4 meters tall, its claws glinting like knives. Its eyes glowed red, locked on them. Mira's heart raced, but her voice stayed sharp. Spread out! We take it together! The creature lunged, claws slicing air. Mira rolled, dodging by inches, her earth-honed reflexes a blur. Sylis, flank it, she barked. Sylis splashed into a puddle, reforming to taunt the beast, their voice lilting. Hey, ugly, over here! Arlo lobbed a stun charge, its crackle staggering the creature. Zin flared bright, their light disorienting it. Mira saw panic in Sylis's ripples, but she met their gaze. voice calm. You're not alone. We've got this. Her empathy, forged in Earth's crucible, steadied them. Sylis surged, tripping the beast with liquid tendrils. Arlo hit it with another charge, and Mira drove a scavenged metal rod into its sensor core. The creature collapsed, its roars fading. They pushed deeper, the tunnel opening into a vast chamber. Cages lined the walls, each holding neural chips that pulsed with eerie light. At the center, a sprawling network of organic tendrils, 20 meters wide, writhed like a living machine. Mira's stomach churned. This was no mere tech. Her desert instincts kicked in, sensing a pattern in the tendrils' pulses, like a heartbeat. It's alive, she whispered, her voice tight. Zin's glow dimmed. It's linked to the chips, feeding them. Arlo's tools pinged, tracing the signal. It's broadcasting to the galactic rim. Mira's blood ran cold. The chips weren't just controlling minds. They were part of something parasitic, something ancient. A sudden realization hit. Mira's dizziness from the lab session wasn't random. The chip in her neck, now disabled, had tried to bind her to this network. Her Earth-born intuition, sharpened by years of survival, had saved her. This is bigger than us, she said, her voice ablade. They're building an army. Sylis rippled, their voice curious but tense. What kind of army needs this? Before Mira could answer, an alarm blared. Red lights flooding the chamber. Drones whirred to life, their sensors locking on. Run! Mira shouted, leading the sprint down a side corridor. They dodged laser grids, Sylis flowing through gaps, Arlo disabling traps on the fly, Zin's light guiding their path. The team reached a sealed bulkhead, panning, the alarm's wail relentless. Mira's mind raced. This network wasn't just tech. It was a predator, turning trainees into hosts. We need to know more, she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. Arlo cracked the bulkhead's lock, his grin fierce. Let's keep poking their nest. Zin's glow pulsed with resolve. I sense it deeper. I'm with you. Sylis chimed. This is getting fun. Mira's lips twitched, her team's trust fueling her. The Academy's spires loomed far above, but here, in its depths, a war was brewing. Mira Chen, forged in Earth's fire, was ready to strike back, one truth closer to unraveling the shadow. Mira Chen's boots echoed in the underground chamber, the air thick with the sour tang of organic decay. Deep beneath NovaCore's polished spires, the lab's steel walls pulsed with a sickly green glow, the network of writhing tendrils sprawling like a living nightmare. Her silver-gray uniform was damp with sweat, her sharp brown eyes locked on the pulsating mass ahead. Zin's blue glow flickered, their humanoid form taut with unease. Arlo Kane, his black jacket torn at the sleeve, clutched a humming codebreaker, his green eyes wide. Sylis, the Thalarian liquid being, rippled silver, their forms shifting restlessly. The team had breached the lab's core, but the sight before them, a 20-meter-wide web of bioengineered tendrils linked to neural chips, froze their blood. Mira's hand brushed the disabled chip in her pocket, a reminder of how close she'd come to being part of this machine. The tendrils twitched, each pulse synchronized with the chips in the cages. Mira's pulse spiked, her heart racing as a wave of nausea hit. She stumbled, clutching her chest, her earth-honed instinct screaming, this wasn't just tech. The chip in her neck, though disabled, had left a ghost, a faint pull, like a predator circling her mind. She steadied herself, her desert-born intuition cutting through the haze. This isn't just control, she whispered, voice tight. It's alive. It's parasitic. Zin's glow dimmed, their voice a trembling chime. I feel it. Energy, hungry, pulling at us. Sylis flowed closer, their voice sparkling with curiosity. It's fascinating. A living network, binding minds to something. Mira's jaw clenched. This was no mere conspiracy. It was an invasion. Arlo's codebreaker pinged, tracing the signal to the galactic rim, a lawless void of abandoned stations and rogue factions. This is big, he said, his usual bravado faltering. They're not just controlling trainees. They're building hosts. Mira's mind raced. The chips were a bridge, linking victims to this organic web, turning them into puppets for an alien force. She saw it now, a galactic takeover orchestrated from the shadows. "We stop this," she said, her voice ablade. "Together." Her words, born of Earth's crucible, rallied them. Zin's glow steadied, their forms stretching taller. "I'm not afraid anymore," they chimed, voice firm. Sylis rippled, excited. "Let's poke it and see what breaks." Arlo knelt by a console, his tools sparking as he sent an electromagnetic pulse into the network. The tendrils spasmed, but a trap triggered. Drones whirred to life, their lasers slicing the air. "Oops," Arlo muttered, diving behind a cage. Mira dodged a beam, her reflexes a blur, pulling Zin with her. Sylis flowed into a crack, disabling a drone's core with a corrosive splash. "Messy but fun," they chimed, their voice bright despite the chaos. Mira's empathy kicked in, sensing Zin's lingering fear. "You're stronger than this," she said, her tone warm but firm. Zin flared bright, their energy disrupting the drone's sensors. The team fought as one, their bond tightening under pressure. Then a low hum shook the chamber. A massive parasitic entity, 5 meters wide, a pulsating mass of tendrils and glowing eyes, rose from the network's core. Its presence pressed against their minds, a psychic weight that nearly buckled Mira's knees. "Stay together!" "Kamaj," she shouted, her voice cutting through the dread. Arlo lobbed a stun charge, its crackle barely denting the creature. Sylis surged, their liquid form wrapping a tendril, corroding it. Zin's glow blazed, disorienting the beast. Mira, using her survival instincts, spotted a weak point, a pulsing node at its base. She drove a scavenged rod into it, the creature shrieking as it collapsed, its energy fading. The team panted, battered but unbroken. The chamber quieted, but the truth hit like a shockwave. The chips weren't just tech. They were a gateway for this parasitic force, a species from the rim aiming to enslave the galaxy. Mira's near miss with the chip, caught by her Earth instincts, revealed the scale of the threat. "This is bigger than NovaCore," she said, her voice steady but urgent. "They're turning us into hosts for an invasion." Arlo's eyes narrowed. "Then we burn it down." Zin's glow pulsed with resolve. "I'll sense the core. Let's end this." Sylis chimed, "I like a challenge." Mira nodded, her leadership forged in crisis. The alarm blared again, red lights flashing. "We destroy the network," she said, "no matter what." The team moved deeper, the chamber's glow intensifying. Mira's heart pounded, but her resolve burned brighter. The Academy's spires were a distant lie. Here in the dark, a war was raging. The parasitic network, the chips, the rim's shadow. It was a machine of control, and Mira Chen, shaped by Earth's fire, was its breaker. Her team, bound by trust, followed her into the abyss, ready to shatter the conspiracy at its core. Mira Chen stood at the heart of NovaCore's underground chamber, the air thick with the stench of writhing bioengineered tendrils. The lab's sickly green glow pulsed, illuminating her silver-gray uniform, now torn at the shoulder. Her sharp brown eyes burned with resolve, her Earth-honed instincts screaming as she faced the network's core, a pulsating mass of parasitic filaments, sprawling like a living plague. Zin's blue glow flickered wildly, their humanoid form taut. Arlo Kane, his black jacket singed, gripped a sparking codebreaker, his green eyes fierce. Sylis, the Thalarian liquid being, rippled silver, their voice a tense chime. The team had breached the lab's deepest level, but the network's hum felt like a predator's heartbeat. Mira's fingers brushed her disabled chip, a reminder of how close she'd come to being its prey. She slammed her hand on a console, activating a massive energy pulse from Illyrian's planetary core, buried deep beneath the Academy. The chamber shook, a deafening roar echoing as the surge ripped through the network, frying tendrils with crackling arcs. Hundreds of trainees, their minds enslaved by chips, slumped free, their blank stares softening. But the victory was short-lived. A chilling pulse surged back, and 50 trainees rose, transformed, hulking, 5-meter-tall hybrids with glowing eyes and claws like scythes. The Shroud, the unseen mastermind, had anticipated her move, activating a parasitic backup. Mira's heart pounded, her pulse spiking as a tendril grazed her mind, clawing at her thoughts. Not today, she hissed, her earth instincts kicking in. She rerouted her communicator's signal, turning her disabled chip into a feedback weapon, repelling the parasite's grip. Arlo dove for the central system, lasers searing the air around him. Time for humans to shine, he shouted, his codebreaker blazing through the network's defenses. He cracked the core's encryption in a frantic burst, disabling a collapsing trap that threatened to crush them. Xin flared, their glow erupting into a towering, 3-meter-wide battleform, a radiant shield of light deflecting drone fire. I won't let it take us, they roared, their chime now a war cry. Sylis surged into the network's core, their liquid form injecting a corrosive toxin. The tendrils convulsed, triggering a chain reaction that tore through the chamber, a 100-meter explosion of light and heat. But a desperate whisper echoed in their minds. The parasites weren't just tools. They were sentient, begging for release. The twist hit like a shockwave. The network wasn't just controlling, it was a prison for an alien mind. A shadow loomed, coalescing into the shroud, a 15-meter-tall entity of black energy, its voice a thunderous void. You cannot stop progress, it boomed, its form crackling with menace. Mira stepped forward, her voice steady, cutting like a blade. Progress? You call enslaving minds strength? Look at us. Together, we're unstoppable. Her words, forged in Earth's crucible, struck deep, her empathy piercing the shroud's arrogance. It faltered, its energy flickering, revealing a core of unstable power. You dare, it hissed, but doubt crept into its tone. Mira's team tightened around her. Xin's light blazing, Arlo's tools sparking, Sylis's form rippling with defiance. The chamber quaked as Mira triggered another pulse, this one aimed at the shroud's core. The network screamed, tendrils vaporizing in a blinding cascade. The hybrids collapsed, freed, as Illyrian itself seemed to exhale. The shroud roared, its form unraveling, but Mira held her ground, her voice rising. We don't need control, we choose unity. The words, simple yet fierce, shattered the shroud's resolve, its energy collapsing into sparks. The team braced as the final surge obliterated the network, the chamber falling silent. Mira's heart slowed, her team battered but unbroken. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but she'd turned their predator into prey. They stood amidst the wreckage, the lab's glow fading. Arlo grinned, wiping soot from his face. That's how Earth does it. Xin's light pulsed steadily, their courage forged in fire. We did it, Mira, they chimed. Sylis rippled, their voice bright. That was unexpected. Mira's lips twitched, her leadership absolute. The shroud was beaten, but its shadow lingered, a hint of a larger threat. The academy above was free, but the galactic rim loomed, dark and hungry. Mira's resolve burned brighter than ever. This victory was fragile, and one final confrontation awaited, a reckoning that would redefine the galaxy's future. Mira Chen stood in the ruins of NovaCore's underground lab, the air heavy with the acrid scent of scorched tendrils. Her silver-gray uniform was tattered, her sharp brown eyes blazing with unyielding resolve. The chamber's sickly glow had faded, replaced by the soft hum of Illyrian's twin suns filtering through a cracked viewport. Xin's blue light pulsed steadily, their humanoid form now radiant with newfound courage. Arlo Kane, his black jacket singed, leaned on a shattered console, his green eyes glinting with pride. Sylis, the Thalarian liquid being, rippled silver, their voice a bright chime of excitement. The shroud, once a towering entity of black energy, flickered before them, its form diminished but not defeated. Mira's team had broken the parasitic network, but the galaxy's fate hung in the balance. Her hand brushed her disabled chip, a symbol of her defiance against control. The shroud's voice rumbled, a hollow thunder. You've won nothing, human. The Rim plans a war. 100 worlds will fall. Its words carried a chilling truth, but Mira saw weakness in its faltering energy. She stepped forward, her voice steady, cutting like a blade forged in Earth's deserts. You think control is power? Watch this. She activated a holographic projector, scavenged from the lab, casting a galaxy-wide broadcast. Images flickered. Vixians, Zorathians, Calyx orbs, and humans standing together, their faces defiant. "This is unity," she said, her tone warm but unyielding. "This is what you'll never break." The shroud's form wavered, its arrogance cracking. In a twist that shook the chamber, it spoke softly. "I yield." The enemy became an ally, its knowledge of the Rim's threat now theirs. Mira seized the moment, rallying 500 multi-species trainees into a new alliance, their voices echoing in the Academy's halls. From a deathworlder shunned by all, she emerged a legend, her adaptability and empathy proving humanity's strength. Zin's glow solidified, their once anxious form now a beacon of bravery. "I'm not afraid anymore," they chimed, their light steady as a star. Arlo, grinning, unveiled a prototype anti-parasite device, its circuits humming with Earth ingenuity. "This'll keep the galaxy clean," he said, his bravado masking awe. Sylis, analyzing the parasite's remnants, uncovered a biotech breakthrough, their voice sparkling. "This could change everything." Mentor Clara materialized, their misty forms swirling with pride. "Humans are not deathworlders," they declared, voice like a storm's echo. "They are the galaxy's hope." The words hit like a wave, a testament to humanity's rise. The alliance formed swiftly, its members united against the Rim's looming invasion. Mira stood at its helm, her leadership forged in crisis, her doubts replaced by fierce pride in humanity's potential. The Academy, once a cage of lies, now buzzed with purpose, its spires gleaming with hope. The Shroud, now a reluctant ally, shared fragments of the Rim's plan, shadowy fleets, hidden in the galaxy's dark fringes. Mira's team prepared, their bond unbreakable. Zin's courage, Arlo's wit, Sylis's curiosity, and Clara's wisdom fueled her vision. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but Mira Chen had turned their predator into a partner, their fear into strength. As dusk fell, Mira stood at a viewport, Illyrion's suns painting the sky in violet flames. The Alliance's work was just beginning, the Rim's threat a shadow on the horizon. She whispered, "This is only the start." Her voice, soft but ironclad, carried the weight of a galaxy's future. The Academy was free, the parasitic plot shattered, but the war was far from over. The Shroud's alliance was a fragile victory, a twist that left the team breathless yet exhilarated. Mira's journey, from outcast to hero, ignited a spark of hope, proof that empathy could outshine control. The galaxy watched awestruck as humanity stepped forward, not as deathworlders, but as architects of unity. Mira Chen stood at the viewport, Illyrion's suns casting violet hues across her face. Zin's glow pulsed steadily beside her. "Mira, we're free because of you," they chimed, voice firm. "What now?" Arlo leaned against a console, grinning. "Built a galaxy saver yet, boss? Rim's not gonna wait." Sylis rippled, voice sparkling. "Those parasites taught me tricks. New tech's coming." And Mentor Clara's mist swirled. "You've shown them, Mira. Humanity is hope." Mira's eyes locked on the stars, her voice soft but ironclad. "The Shroud joined us, but the Rim's still hungry. We're not just survivors, we're builders. Together we'll face whatever's out there." She turned, her team's trust afire in her chest. "This is only the start." The galaxy stretched before them, vast and unyielding, but Mira's resolve burned brighter. The Alliance would rise and humanity would lead.